should be face of the U.S. economy. But to know why, we need to learn about them. There are about 13 billion pennies in the U.S. made a year. If you were to stack them up, you could get about halfway around the world with them. They've been losing copper ever since the Civil War. They started 95% copper and 5% zinc just after the Civil War, to 5% copper and 95% zinc in 1982. And today they are about 2.5% copper and 97.5% zinc. But why should we phase them out? They have been costing the US about 1.76 cents as of 2021 to make a single penny. That means we're losing about 0.76 cents per penny made, which when you add up all the pennies that we make in a year, brings us to an estimated $84.5 million loss every year. They're also too small to be used effectively in large amounts. Sure, you can pay little bits with it to round out your change, but not only does it take time to fidget with your coin purse to get the change out, but it also is difficult to know how much you're gonna need before you get up, so you're just wasting even more time. So it's just an overall hassle. Pennies have been just making our debt incredibly worse over time. You can see in this chart that between the years 2008 and 2017, we've lost more than $200 million from just pennies. The pennies are in the red, and you see that in 2017, they go down to an all-time low of negative $70 million for that year of how much is lost throughout printing all the pennies. 2021 obviously was worse with the 87.5 million, but that's still not good. We need to discontinue them. It wouldn't be the first time we did it. It's not a major leap. We used to have the half cent. It was discontinued in 1857 when it had the same buying power as the dime, because it was deemed to be worth too little to continue to print. So some people argue that we should also get rid of the nickel and the dime. I think that might be a little far to do all at once. We should start with the penny. People hold on because they think charities will get less money. We've seen other countries get rid of the penny, and their charitable proceeds before and after the penny getting removed is negligible, the effect it had on it. And they're worth so little that it's difficult for charities to effectively use them. People also want Lincoln to stay on the 1 cent, but he's already on the $5 bill, and he's so famous in U.S. history that every little kid knows about George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Those are the two major presidents that almost everybody knows about. Pennies are worth more dead than alive. In 2007, pennies were worth so little that people started melting them down and taking them out of the economy to get more money out of them. But the mint stopped this by making it illegal. Going to the mint is up to a $10,000 fine and up to 5 years in prison if you're caught melting down a lot of pennies. Obviously 1 or 2 will not get you that, but if you melt down a substantial amount, you could easily wind up in jail or paying way more than you would have made. Other nations have already abolished the penny. Australia, New Zealand, Netherlands, Finland, and Sweden all have abolished their 1 cent coin, and they've seen no reduction in donations. And other conglomerations like the European Union have started trying to get rid of their penny since 2002. So far they've been unsuccessful, but even to this day there's still talk of them getting rid of it. Removing the penny would not be super easy. There would be definite impacts on the economy. One positive would be that we would save more than $84.5 million a year more than that, because the cost of copper and zinc are only going up. More and more things in modern day are requiring copper or zinc. You got electronic parts are using copper and copper wiring and stuff like that. Stores would have to round to the nearest 5 cents. This would change a lot for people, because stores would be, assuming stores rounded down, they would be losing thousands and thousands of dollars or millions because of how many transactions they do in a day, in a year, in a month, so on and so forth. There's so many that it would end up being a lot, even though it's just 1 cent. Pennies are more of a hassle than they're worth, and they should be gotten rid of the US economy.